So I'm Jackie Ridley, and this is my husband Chaz.
I'm Chaz.
And we've been foster parents for, the last 2.5 years?
Yeah. We got certified in 2016, and then we got matched.
2017.
Sorry.
Time flies when you're having fun.
You're right. It does feel like it was 2016, but it was 2017.
2017.
And then
We've
we got
aged
matched.
a lot through the process.
We got matched last March.
Yes. So March of 2017.
18. No, 18. It's really bad how long.
All right, so I'm
But
Jackie.
So I think really early on in our marriage, we decided fostering and adopting was going to be a part of our plan for building a family.
Yeah. And I think a couple years ago, we began to talk about building our family, and it became clear pretty quickly that biological children were not on the table. And I'm really thankful that adoption really had always been a part of what we had been thinking about and how to build our family. So we kind of switched gears and took off from there. So we became certified as both foster parents and adoptive parents and infant adoptive parents. And we said we were kind of open to what would happen. We knew we wanted to give a home to kids that didn't have one. We felt like we could do that, and we were excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think probably like a lot of first-time parents, we envisioned a baby, and I don't think that's all that atypical.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, when we got the call about 2 little girls and they needed a home, and it was a Sunday, and we were asked if we could come get them on a Monday. And we said, Amazon Prime takes 2 days, so we need a little bit of time.
We need a day to build all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So can we do it on Thursday?
Yeah, so we need a couple car seats. And so in a matter of a week, we went from just the 2 of us and to
4.
a family of 4. And a couple months later, our youngest child joined us too, who is one of the siblings of our kids. So like Chaz said, we went from, just the 2 of us to a family of 5 very quickly through foster care.
I think a lot of people look at us and some of our friends who also foster and are adopting and say, man, you guys have like a special set of skills or a special set of calling.
False.
But it's not true. There are some different challenges, I think. But I think overall, it's still parenting, and parenting in itself is challenging. Building a family in itself is really challenging. Building community, loving people, doing what we're called to do as Christ followers, as believers, is challenging. It's not easy to be vulnerable. It's not easy to sacrifice our own interests for other people's, whether that's fostering or taking care of adults or teenagers or kids. None of that's easy, whether they're biological or adopted or foster kids. It's all hard. And so the question we hate answering the most is, how can we help? Because it's a really hard one to answer.
I don't hate that one. I'll tell you all the things.
I don't like it because it's hard to answer. And I think for a lot of people who are just starting out in fostering and adoption, it's hard to answer because we think that we can just, these are things we should just be able to do as parents. These are things that we should just be able to do as adults. The things that have helped us the most have been the most menial things of where someone comes over and cleans our toilets. Like, that's embarrassing that someone has to come over and clean our toilet. We can do that, but like the fact that we don't have to worry about cleaning our toilets or cleaning our house or having someone making a meal for us gives us that much more time to focus on our kids and to make meaningful connections with them. And so like it's those weird little things that really mean the most. And we've gotten more comfortable asking people for help in those things, but early on that was definitely the toughest thing. I think at least it was even challenging for both of us, but we're not prideful anymore. We're just like, yeah, absolutely. Please do that for us. We need help so bad.
Yeah, I think that maybe I've always been good, but I've gotten pretty good at asking for help. Be warned, if you ask me how you can help, I'll tell you 3 ways, and one of them will be coming up very quickly. And I think that one of the things that's been surprising for me has been how few foster parents we know. And I think I would say, especially in the church, we get told a lot, I could never foster. I would just love the kids too much. I would never want to give them back. But I'm really glad you guys do it. And we're like, what? That makes no sense. That's exactly the point, is that you love a kid so much that they become a part of your family, that you love them the way that they're the way that you love your own kids. You love them the way that they deserve, because every kid, every teenager, siblings all deserve a place where they are loved unconditionally. And guys, we're the adults. We're the ones that, especially if you ascribe, if you are a Christ follower, then you have the constant love of God pouring into you. You have that security. You have that assurance. You have Him to comfort you. So we are the ones that should be able to take the heartache of what happens if a kid goes back to their biological parents, or if a kid goes to a new foster home, or if a kid doesn't get to stay a part of your family. It is up to us to bear the weight of that. It is up to us to be the ones to love kids, right? Yeah. Kids deserve parents who love them so much that they don't want to give them back. I think that something that's would be helpful for other people to be aware of is the language that we use when we talk about family in the church as well as outside of it. So one of the things that Chaz and I get asked a lot is, when are we going to have our own kids, or if we're going to have our own kids? And
it makes my heart sink, because it's like, we have our own kids. These are our kids.
Yeah, and our girls are listening, and they hear that. But they are our own kids. You know, they're right in front of you. We are a family. And I think as we think about how we're all adopted into God's family, those aren't questions that belong here. And those aren't necessarily questions that I think are helpful. So,
and we know that people are well-meaning when they ask these
absolutely.
things. Like, there's an innocence in there. But I think it's important to educate people to help understand like how damaging that is for our kids to hear, because like then they just don't feel like they belong. And also it hurts us too, because we're like, there's nothing wrong with our family. There's nothing wrong with the fact that these are our kids.
Yeah.
And that question strongly implies that these aren't our kids.
Yeah.
These aren't our own.
Chaz and I aren't special, and our kids aren't lucky. We are very, very lucky to be their parents, and our kids are very, very special. So they are our own children, we are our own family, and we're so grateful for them.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm going to get teary up a little bit.
All right.